Okay, good morning. Just going to run through the web app side of AutoCAD, a brief introduction, and then I may put up another one running through the same things on the desktop version of AutoCAD. So we'll see how the two are different. Okay, so hopefully you've managed to sign in. I did have a chat with a couple of students afterwards who were after the session who were having difficulty with that. So you've got the sign in or sign up section. You need to be doing this on a PC, so that's a laptop or a desktop. You put in your college email as you sign up. They will send an email to your college email, and you need to open your college email through your hub, which you can do on your phone or on your PC. Some students were going to their phone to read their email and then clicking it and then wondering why it wasn't working. So you need to, if you're on your PC, you need to open up your email on your PC and go to that. And that's about it, really. So yes, you can get to your email on your PC through the Student Hub just like you can on your phone. Okay, so you need to do that. You need to make sure you follow the link from your email on your PC. All right. And then this should open up to you. You should have access to this. Make sure you're not using Internet Explorer. You need to be using either Firefox or Chrome or at a push Microsoft Edge browser. Okay. So that's the other things we need to be aware of. Right. So you've got to this stage. Let's create a new drawing. Okay. Let's give it a name. New. You can call it what you like. Drawing units are in metric. Okay, that's millimeters, not inches. Yeah, because as we said before, there are only two countries that use the metric system, use the imperial system. That's Burma and the United States. So I'm going to open up a new drawing. I'm going to wait for a moment. Oh, okay. Let's try that again. Right. I must have registered a button on the cancel button. Oh. Nearly there. Almost there. Right, here we go. Right, so we're just going to look briefly at how we use AutoCAD. Now, we've got things to draw things, we've got things to find out distances, revisions, dimensions, text, leaders, and we've got things to modify things we've already made. So let's just have a look at drawing a line in AutoCAD. So we can select the line icon, we can draw a line. You see it snaps to horizontal or vertical, which is quite useful. Okay, and when we want to finish drawing a line, or we want to exit any command within AutoCAD, we can just press escape. So we've got two lines there. Now, so if you might have noticed, if we look down the bottom corner of the screen here, it's coming up with some text. So what's happening there? Well, if we go on, you see it has the word line. So instead of going to the icon, we can also just type L, and you'll see we've got an option for all the commands that begin with L. Line, layer, crew, don't know what that does, we'll find out in a moment maybe, and list. Okay, so we could just type L and then press enter, and again we're in the line command. Okay, right, so I'm just going to type L and press enter. So I can specify the start point, and I can either do that by putting in coordinates, or more likely we'll just click on the screen. Now you'll see as I'm drawing this line, we've got a distance, and that's highlighted in blue at the moment. So I can set that distance, I can type that in. 300. And then if I press tab, I can also go to the angle, and you can see as I move the line around, that angle number's changing, or I can just type in to set that angle. And I can go back and tab to change the length of the line. I can go back and tab to change the angle. I can use the tab key on my keyboard to move between those two things. Okay, so I'm just going to set that back to 0. Okay, and there we are. So I've drawn a line. Oops, daisy. I'm just going to press escape there to come out of that. Now, what else might you need to know? If you click your left mouse button and you drag to the left, you get a green square that with a dotted edge, and that selects anything it crosses. Okay. All right. So that selects anything it crosses. So I can now press the delete key on my keyboard. That's the delete key, not the backspace key, and I can delete it. So let's try that again. So what else can I do? Well, I can click and I can drag these handles, so I can make it longer. And again, I can type in the length that I want. So I can edit a line like that. Okay. Or I can click the middle one, and that allows me to move it anywhere I want. So we can do things that way as well. Okay. So I'm just going to press escape there to deselect. So if we left click and hold and go this way, we get a blue box. And the blue box only selects things that are completely inside it. So you'll see we selected the bottom line, but we didn't select this line here because it wasn't completely inside the blue box. Okay. You can also select things just by clicking on them as well. Okay. Right, so that's some of the basics. What else do we need to know? Well, if we want to draw a circle, let's say, then you'll see we've got various points that we'll snap to. So we can snap to the end of a line. So let's draw a circle at the end of the line there. And you can see there it's asking us for the radius. So let's have a radius of 600. I press enter, and that drives the shape. If I hold down my middle mouse button here, I'm just holding down the middle mouse button to pan, and I can scroll it backwards and forwards, obviously, to zoom in and out. Okay. The right mouse button, as is usual, brings up a context menu. I can repeat the last command, or zoom to extents. So zoom to extents will zoom to what you've got on screen, to what you've drawn. Because it might be that you've not been paying attention. You scroll all the way out and you can't see your work anymore. So you can right click, zoom to extents, and that'll bring you back to something. Or you might zoom right in and be confused as to where your work is. So zoom to extents, or you might pan it off screen, or whatever. Zoom to extents is a way to get your drawing back in the middle of the screen. But what if we don't want to draw a circle, or if we don't want to draw our next point at the end of the line? Well, what can we do about that? Okay, well, let's start our line command again. Now, if we hold down Alt on our keyboard and right click, we get our menu up. Do we have to press Alt, or can we just right click? We can just right click. I'll take it all back. We've got snap overrides. So these are places we can snap to. Okay. So you'll see we've got endpoint, which we've got by default, midpoint, intersection, where two lines cross, apparent intersection, not entirely sure what that does, or an extension, center, geometric. So we've got all these different snaps. So I'm going to choose midpoint. Okay. So now you'll see we get a little triangle that appears when I get close to the midpoint of the line. So my cursor's not touching that triangle, but if I click now, you'll see we started the line from the midpoint there. Okay, so just by right clicking, we can, when we're in a command, we can do that. So let's type L for line again. So I'm going to right click, snap overrides. I'm going to start from, where's it gone? Nearest midpoint there. Start from the midpoint of this line, and I want to go to the midpoint of another line. So again, I have to right click, snap overrides, and choose midpoint again. Okay. So I don't have to go right up to the triangle. It's selected. That will snap to there. So there we are. We've gone from the midpoint of both lines. So first thing you should really do then is just have a play with drawing lines, setting line lengths. Easy for me to say. Draw some circles, draw something simple. Use those different snaps, see how they work. Okay. So pause the video, go away, have a play, draw something simple, and then when you come back, we'll move on to the next stuff. Okay, welcome back. I'm assuming you've had a play and that you've drawn a few bits and pieces. So now we're going to look at the modify tools. Now, 3 modify tools that are really useful are trim, extend, and offset. Okay. The others can be useful in different situations, but you can draw an awful lot in AutoCAD by using the line command, the circle command, trim, extend, and offset. So we'll have a look at each of those. So first of all, the trim command. Let's see how that works. So you can see, looking at the bottom here, we have options on what we do. Right. But it says here, select object to trim or shift trim, select to extend, or cutting edges, crossing. So the web version is slightly cleverer, in fact, than the desktop version. And once we're in trim mode, you can just hover over something and it will take its best guess at what it wants us to trim. So you see it's trimming that up to the diagonal line. So let's just trim to there, and we'll come down and we'll trim to there. Okay. Right, so that's fairly straightforward. Okay, so we'll press escape to quit. Okay. Right, let's have a look at the extend command. Again, it's slightly more straightforward than the desktop version. Select object to extend or shift select to trim. Okay, so I want to extend that, and you see it takes it to the next boundary. Okay, yeah, we can't do any other extending. We can extend that to there. There we go. So we can extend that up to there, and it extends it, and it takes it to a perfect edge. It doesn't take it anywhere past. So that's useful. Again, we've got options here, boundary edges, so we can choose which line we want to extend to. So when would we want to do that? Let's have a look. Let's draw a couple of lines. Okay, so we've just drawn a couple of lines. So I'm going to use the extend command again. Modify, extend, and it says boundary edges. So I'm going to click boundary edges. It says select boundary edge. So I want this to be my boundary edge, he says. There we go. And I'm going to press confirm selection, so I can either click there or press enter to confirm my selection. And now it should extend all the way past. So if I've not chosen my boundary edge, it would have automatically gone there. And I could have clicked it twice, but I chose my boundary edge there, so I'm going to click it once. So that's good. And the final really useful thing is the offset command. So what does the offset command do? Let's have a look. So I've chosen offset command. Select object to offset. Okay, so I want to offset this line. Okay. Offset, specify through point or. So you see here, I've got a distance on the screen and I am offsetting the line. So let's say 1,000. Let's make that 1,000. And what it does, it's a copy and move command, really. So it rolls up, copy and move. So we've copied this line and we've moved it in a straight line 1,000 away. Okay. So let's see what happens if we pick this line. Okay, again, we can set the difference like that. Okay, so we've offset line. So we know it's in the right place because we've offset it by a certain amount. What happens with this? Which direction is this going to move in? Let's have a look. Right, so you see it offsets at right angles to the line that we're using. Okay, I'm just going to offset that 800. Yeah, so it's the same distance, the same line. Excuse me just a moment, there's somebody at the door. Okay, so the offset command offsets perpendicular at right angles at 90 degrees to the line. Okay, so it's a copy and move command, but it's very, very useful. Okay, so again, pause the video, go away, have a go at using these commands. All right, let's see how it affects a circle. What does it do if we do a circle? There we go. So it offsets, it copies it, but it keeps it about that center point. So it's the same center point. So again, that's a very useful command. And you can do an awful lot in AutoCAD just by using those 5 commands: circle, line, offset, trim, and extend. Okay, have a play, get used to using it, and I will put up another video that walks us through doing a simple engineering drawing, just so that you can see how I do it and maybe start to copy that workflow. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.